Hi, and welcome to another Dwarven Tavern review. I am Dr. Jeff Goins, your host, and this time we have Better Angels, yep, from Arc Dream Publishing. You can find them at www.arcdream.com. And this one is, it's kind of a disappointment, I'm sorry to say. These guys usually put out some really, really good stuff, and this one it's better than your average game, but only slightly. I have some fundamental issues with this one, and I'm sure there might be some contention, but this is just of course this is just how we see it, and you might like it, you might love it. I'm sure there's a lot of people who do because Arc Dream puts out some consistently good stuff. This one, however, it seemed like it might have been kind of rushed, or I don't know, but I'll explain where I'm coming from here. First of all, the appearance. The appearance, it's a super villain role-playing game, and it has a lot of it has a lot of connotations. It's kind of some strange things with the whole character generation issue, which it does get to really, really quickly. So I'm giving it 0.8 for its organization, and the whole premise behind this is a struggle between. Okay, this is what it says. The story in Better Angels is the struggle between a good human and a demon trying to degrade, bully, and control him. Because this is a game and not Paradise Lost, the score is kept mathematically with a system of carefully measured sins and virtues instead of agonized poetic couplets. Though, no mistake, Paradise Lost is worth a read. So they did have a nice... That was a cool disclaimer there. And I find that interesting. I find that an interesting background. The whole moral thing, I mean, that's totally up to you as to whether that's cool or not. I'm kind of, I'm on the fence about that, but, if that's the way you want to play it, that's the way this game is set up. That's okay. However, with the appearance of the book, they're going for the comic book look, obviously, since it's supervillains. And in many cases, they have it, like the font here on page 33 and the photo thereof. A photo, yeah. They took this picture of a guy, getting ready to, I don't know, he's waiting in line at McDonald's, and the artwork it's almost there. I mean, there are many instances where the comic book feel was not as comic book as it should be. Like here on 124. This guy's obviously a superhero, but he's an angel-infused do-gooder. And I don't like that. I don't like that crossover, that whole Judeo-Christian, demonic, angelic supervillain crossover. It just doesn't... leaves a funny taste in my mouth. But the artwork it's a little off. I mean, the comic book artist was good. I mean, it gets a 0.8 for appearance, but that's only because of stuff like here on page 86 and 87. These comic, but it's not real comic book art. Does that make sense? Plus, there are some instances where the font is kind of skewed. Not like sideways or anything, but it's the spacing, the leading, as it were. The leading comes from the old print process where they would put little strips of lead between the letters to raise them or lower them, and the leading is the space between the lines. And it's kind of off in some places. It's more spaced, like here on page 39. Than in other places, and I find that odd, and it's a little jarring. But then you got artwork like this that's it's got the flavor here at the beginning of chapter 5. It has the flavor of the comic book art, but I wouldn't it's not like true comic book art. And I think that if they were going to make it true comic book art, they should have had a true comic book artist do it. I mean, not that the guy is bad, not that the artist is not a good artist. Much of this art is fantastic, but it just doesn't. There's something missing about the flavor of it, I think. And so the organization, I'm also giving it 0.8 because it is it does do a good job of putting it. The character generation is right here on page 16. So you only have to go through 15 pages of background and weirdly spaced fonts, and it explains the basics and all that stuff. And then it has a step-by-step character generation and the system that they use. And then it has an example of Katie, Frank, and Toby, who are villains to be determined. And then it goes to chapter 3, right on page 22, how the character sheet works, and it explains the whole opposition of good and evil, not so much good and evil as morality and conflicting mental things that every good and deep supervillain would go through, or burgeoning supervillain would go through, such as corruption versus nurture, cruelty versus courage. The pairing is odd, cowardice versus endurance, and so forth. So it's kind of odd the way the game itself is organized, and the originality was pretty good. Here's another example of the weirdly spaced font. It's like they had to fill up this whole page with words to make it full on page 55, and the font's like this. So you're like read, and then the second line is down here, and the third line is down there, and so forth. So it's kind of odd to me, and it maintains that throughout the thing. So throughout that section. So I don't know, it's weird. The creativity is it's a 0.6 because it's better than average, but it's only so creative. I hate to say that. We like to be positive here at the tavern. It's always open season on trolls, so I don't like to troll things lest I be shot with a crossbow from the kitchen. And but the creativity is okay. It's pretty standard fare. Although the gorilla wrench is pretty interesting. Here on page 141, it's a chick in a gorilla suit with a wrench. So there you have it. Playability, it's getting a 0.7 because it's pretty straightforward as far as everything is put together. I'm really kind of disappointed with it overall. It gets 3.7 axes because it's kind of all over the place in some areas, and I don't know. It's hard to describe, oddly. But it's pretty basic. It's playable. I mean, it certainly is fun in some instances. If I've never been a fan, and that might be clouding my judgment a little bit, is that I've never been a fan of playing evil campaigns or evil, game mastering for evil characters or whatever. And since this is all about supervillains, it has that flavor, it has that darkness, the ram horned dark dude with fire coming out of his face. So and that's a player character. So if you like to play evil characters, you know, and this is just, again, this is always just my opinion. So if you disagree or whatever, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of this game. 3.7 axes from Arc Dream. It's called Better Angels. Kind of a Judeo-Christian mix of supervillains and conflicting emo drama. So if that's your bag, this is your game. Not really mine so much, although it was fun. It was fun. So look them up at arcdream.com and look us up at dwarventavern.net. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, leave lots of comments, let us know what you think. I'm having some great conversations on the channel with some folks about some various editions of various role-playing games. So and I love a good debate. So please leave comments, let us know what you think. And on behalf of the whole Dwarven Tavern cast and crew, I am Dr. Jeff Goins, wishing you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time around. Let